Coach, there was the big news about the CHL transfer rules and the NCAA. Just kind of your thoughts on hearing that kind of a rule change.
We've known it's coming for, probably better part of a year, so I don't think it's surprising to anybody. It's going to definitely change the landscape of not just college hockey, but junior hockey. It's going to trickle down to youth hockey. So it'll be interesting the next couple of years to see, see what happens. And, for us, it's just another player pool to kind of recruit players from. So it's definitely one of those like seismic shifts because it's been a certain way for decades. You either make that decision, you're playing, major junior hockey, you're playing the NCAA, and now you can do both. So, the development piece of it is probably good. It's probably good for the players. More options is always good. It's probably not going to be good for every junior league or every college or, so there's some things to obviously see how they pan out.
What do you think it's going to do for the talent level of your team?
Hopefully it makes it better. I don't, it's such a foreign thing to us. I don't think, we've spent time watching, there's a lot of teams that are pretty close to here in Quebec and, New Brunswick, PI, the Quebec League's pretty close, Ontario League's pretty close. So it's one of those things that we've never really watched. It's never been something that it's been on our radar. Kids go that way and it's just, okay, they're not eligible, so you don't pay attention to it. So it's just 3 more junior leagues with really good players to go to look at. So
soft beat them.
I imagine it's probably gonna increase the talent pool for the NCAA.
Do you think it's a matter of happening now because of everywhere else has this NIL stuff and the chief old concern with their stipends getting paid up there?
Yeah. I mean the reasons why the CHL was deep into football. I don't know when that was. Maybe in the 70s or whatever. The rationale behind that probably really doesn't ring true now. So it was hard to. It makes sense whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, or people want it or don't want it. It's hard to justify. Those kids not being eligible based on the changes in the NCAA tax fee.
First few losses of the season this year. What do you take away from the weekend? What you learn about the guys, and I guess what's the message going forward?
The message doesn't really change. It was a disappointing weekend. But the sun came up on Monday, and we got to get better. We weren't good enough to go on the road and beat a really good team. And there's a lot of lessons, as a team and for certain individuals. So it's you try to grow from it and move on.
You did play playing a number 2 team in the country. Obviously, you guys are very close to that spot. What do you? I guess what do you learn from playing a team like that good on their home ice, You
learn where your deficiencies are, and we were deficient with execution in some areas. We were deficient in, in certain circumstances where, big time players come up big, and there's big time players showed up, and not that ours didn't play hard, they did, but more of the breakdowns and tough situations that really hurt us, and that was something we got to learn from.
Last time you played BU, you really outplayed them, 5-on-5, even strength, but it was the special teams where they got you. Obviously, it's important every night not to make mistakes, but against a team like that this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a very similar weekend to last weekend. You can't give highly skilled teams good looks. You can't give them free offense. You can't man rush. They're going to create on their own regardless because they got good players, just like we do. And but you got to take care of the puck when you have it, and it won't be any different this weekend as it was last week. We had spurts where we did it good enough, and then those last 10 minutes, we turned the puck over on Friday in the offensive zone. We had the point. We panic, turn it over, take a penalty, change the whole game. And then on Sunday, I didn't think we managed the puck or held onto the puck in situations when we needed to. So it's going to be important this weekend too.
last year they were, perennial top 5 team, a little bit, lower this year in the rankings. What's different about BU that makes them, I guess, are they more vulnerable or just a slower start?
They got some new players. It's early to read into any rankings or whatever. They've had a really tough schedule. And they got some new players. They got they lost some guys just like we did that played a lot of minutes for them. And you're working new guys in. They got some young kids that experience. You can't teach it, and I'm sure each game they're getting better. So they're just as good as they have been.